Average bros. We're just a couple average bros with above average fantasy knowledge. Just us three. We're three guys, and we gonna tell you how to play football fantasy style. Enough of that. We're doing a little Q&A episode 55 of the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. What are you laughing at?
I'm not going to say it out loud.
Oh, sorry, dude. Anthony loves it when I burp on this podcast, so I always tend to give him one.
I mean, I would wear headphones, but that's why I can't wear headphones anymore.
Is it?
Yeah.
Don't lie.
I don't want it. It irks me.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I won't do it.
I might put this helmet on and just tackle you.
You won't?
Well, let's leave the tackling on the field, okay, boys? All right. We got some questions from you guys. We posted on social media. Ask us your questions, and
Questions.
we're going to answer them. There's a lot of them. So many. Too many to count.
I can barely count, so.
But we handpicked them, and we're going to answer them right now, right here on the podcast. Let's do this. Week 14 playoffs.
Hey, let's get it.
Let's get it. What do we got first? What's the first question you want?
Who's got question number one?
Question number one from your boy Colby. He said, if Mac is active, are you willing to start him?
Return of the Mac.
Up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a tough one. You've been sitting on Marlon Mack since he broke his hand, which I feel like that's pretty quick to come back from breaking your hand.
I mean, his fingers probably weren't hurt. That's why. His fingers hurt. It's just his hand.
Give me a second, dude.
Dude, how did you not have that ready, dude? Man.
Because I was looking up the return of the Mac
better,
one.
bro.
Sorry, dude. Look at that.
What? We never play that one.
My fingers hurt.
Okay, there you go. 2 hours later. I'm in this type of situation actually in 2 of my leagues. And I think I'm not going to play Marlon Mack. I have Benny Snell, I have Austin Eckler, and I think I have another, I can't remember off the top of my head. And I'm playing, but point is I'm playing Benny Snell over Marlon Mack in this situation. Depending on what you have, I think he's worth a play just because of volume. If he comes back, maybe. Tampa Bay's rush defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's, the Bucs, they're only giving up 76 yards per game. It's second lowest in the NFL, only giving up 3.4 yards per carry. It's actually, one of the best in the NFL as well. I mean, it just depending on who you have for running back, I'd probably be trying to avoid any Colts running back. Even if Marlon Mack is there, or even if it's Jonathan Williams again, I'd probably be avoiding just these Colts running backs in general because I feel like you attack the Bucs through the air, not on the ground. And we've seen the Bucs, I think McCaffrey only had like one bust game all year, and it was against the Bucs, and they've shut people down like Zeke and Barkley and a couple of these other Kamara. These guys haven't had these monster games against the Bucs defense, so I'd be probably trying to find Benny Snell would be a good guy, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, Mike, I think it depends on who you have. I'm not just going to bench him for no reason. I mean, he's only had one game under 14 rushes, 2 games all year, under 18 carries all season. So more of a standard versus PPR play. PPR, it's a little bit of a different story, but a standard play, the offensive line is still good. I know the Bucs are a top defense, but if he's going to see 90% of the carries and he's going to get me 17 carries in goal line work, don't hate it in a standard. Like I said, it depends on who you have. Like you said, if there's Benny Snell, but I'm not trying to just, I'm probably not starting a part-time player over him personally.
Let's go over some guys that we would start over Marlon Mack. Would you start Devin Singletary against Baltimore?
PPR, yes.
Damn, that's a close
one. Standard now.
That's a hard one. But we got to talk about these hard decisions. Where we at? Where we got them? What are your rankings for this week?
Playing in standard leagues again, it's basically just who's scoring touchdowns like that because it's like it just changes. It changes so much yards. It's totals and total yardage and touchdown. Like a lot of people have safe floors in PPR and they get these 9-10 point games or whatever. But in standard, it's just like I said, playing in a standard league, it's just like you realize that like yardage and touchdown are kings. So. I think the Colts can put up more points against Tampa Bay than just in general than Buffalo will against Baltimore. So it's a standard PPR with that.
Yeah. I would probably go. I would probably go Devin Singletary. That's hard. I'd probably go
That's a
Devin
tough one.
Singletary.
I think I might lean Singletary just because I've no Max getting a ton. The volume, obviously, you like the volume Max getting, but I've seen some games where he's run the ball like 20, 21 times and he gets you like 50, 60 yards. He's kind of a. The only good thing for Mac is he's going to get the volume if he's there, and then they do have a really good offensive line. So
it looking like it, okay. Say T.Y. Hilton does play. Does that change your?
I think it just helps him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can't stack the box as much, I guess, but
Yeah, I'm just curious. So I think we kind of covered that one now.
yeah, like you said, the Snell. I'd probably start Snell over Mac.
Who's supposed to play again?
They're
What?
playing at Arizona.
Yeah,
that's what it
Arizona.
Yeah, it is.
Playing like a Mac or a Mixon.
Mixon.
Probably going
yeah.
Mixon. Taking Mac or like a Carlos Hyde. I think I'd go Mac on that
I go
one.
Mac there. Yeah, Mac.
What about Marlon Mack or like a Bo Scarborough?
Bo Scarborough.
No, I'm not playing Bo. I'm playing Marlon
No,
Mack.
hey, Bo.
No one Bo. Yeah, I'd go Mac on that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Mac.
So it just kind of depends where you're at. Would you play Austin Eckler? I would.
I'd play Eckler over Mac.
Yeah, just a couple of guys. I mean, obviously, there's obvious ones. You're
Yeah,
obviously
I'd
playing
go
over.
Eckler, I think.
Sony Michel.
No.
I'd go Michelle over Mac.
Really?
You can run all over the Chiefs. Yeah, I was just looking at some of the numbers right here. And I think in a game where you want to kind of keep Mahomes on the sideline, they always say, the good way to neutralize the quarterback is keep him on the sideline. So I think this could be a big Michelle game, which is crazy to say because I hate Michelle all year long.
I go Mac. I think it's more of a James White game.
So we have another kind of, they were just trying to have help on their their lineup for their flex spot. They have both of these Colts running backs, Marlon Mack and Jonathan Williams, but they don't know. They also have Jamal Williams, Golden Tate, and Bo Scarborough and David Johnson on their bench. Would you be what player would you play over? Because I think I would play Golden Tate, or I would play Jamal Williams actually, maybe even over one of these running backs, maybe.
Yeah, I'd probably play. Is it's PPR or half point PPR?
I believe it's half point.
I'd probably be playing like a Jamal Williams and a Golden Tate over the Colts running backs.
Yeah, I like Golden Tate.
I do like Golden Tate this week. I mean, they should be behind. I mean, they're on the road. Eagles are kind of like at full strength with their receiving core and tight ends. So Wentz should be able to put up some points against the Giants. Their pass defense is not very good. So and it's kind of, I guess, do you trust third and down syndrome, Eli Manning? But in a game where they should be like trailing and coming from behind, so more volume, more opportunity there.
Yeah, and Philly's pass defense has not been good this year.
Yeah. And then we kind of touched on the waiver wire episode of Jamal Williams. Like his PPR numbers were like sneaky good, actually.
Yeah.
And like kind of like, people been sleeping on him. He's actually been outperforming Aaron Jones in a couple of these games here. He's been more really consistent, I feel like.
Right.
Aaron Jones is kind of like the home run guy, like a boom guy. But I feel like Jamal Williams has been kind of consistent.
Yeah, so I think I'm right there. Just because, like, I know if Marlon Mack comes back, is it going to be split carries? You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they give it right back to him. It's just his hand. It's not like he has like a hamstring injury or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you want to move on to the next question?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
You got it or I got it?
You got it.
You got it.
All right. Boy, Gene Beek. How do you say it? Gene Beek? Gene Beck? 9-3?
Beck.
John Beck?
I don't even know,
John Beck?
actually.
John Beck from the Dolphins.
Keenan Beck?
Anyways, your boy Gene over here. He said DJ Chark, full point PPR. DJ Chark or Jamison Crowder in the flex position. You're actually showing me Gene's team, and it seems pretty lax. Like,
Yeah, this guy's team's pretty good.
he's one of those guys like he sneaks into the playoffs and what is it, the 6th seed,
Yeah.
5th seed or something like that, and like he could probably win the whole thing because his team is pretty good.
Yeah. We kind of talked about this off air, but I'm going to lean DJ Chark. Got Gardner Minshew coming back. Tampa Bay's pass defense isn't very good, although the rushing defense is pretty good.
Run game. Jacksonville's playing the Chargers.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, get it together.
Oh, dude.
Dad.
We got on this Bucks game. We were talking about this Colts game for a minute. My bad. Misread that. But I still lean DJ Chark.
This one's tough. I forgot who his receivers were because I like I think Jameson Crowder's got a good matchup PPR wise. He has had some pretty rough games, but playing against Miami, I mean, he's at home. Miami's pass defense is just terrible. I mean, we've given up the most touchdowns to wide receivers. We're just struggling in general, the Dolphins' pass defense. But it's like DJ Chark has a tough matchup with Casey Hayward. We kind of seen, you could actually score on him last week. Sutton had a couple touchdowns. Actually had a big game, even though he got shadowed. It's just kind of like that rapport with Minshew and Chark. It's like a real thing. I mean, this one's tough for me. I mean, what do you think, Anthony?
It's Chark for me. It's pretty just the
He's got the touchdown upside.
Yeah, the floor is. I'd say the ceiling for Chark is higher.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Jameson Crowder go over 102 or a big game like that, but we've seen Chark do it multiple times. Yeah. And the floor is lower for Crowder as well. Yeah. And just Sam Darnold's inconsistent. It's just like, do I want to trust the inconsistency of Sam Darnold? I know it's Miami, but Miami pretty much shut him down last time. It was in Miami, but still, it's a division game. He's just very inconsistent at this point in his career with Adam Gase and that offense. So I'm going to trust the higher ceiling, with the higher floor, and the more consistent quarterback for me.
Yeah. I think it's kind of crazy to say that Gardner Minshew is more consistent than Sam Darnold.
That's because he
has
a
first-round pick versus
just like you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Swag, dude.
He fucking got
like
that.
someone who just was like a six-round pickup as a backup. Or no, he was undrafted, wasn't he? I don't know.
He was like six. Yeah, he was like sixth or seventh round.
Okay. Either way, it's so crazy to think that a 6th-round pick.
He went up to Big Dick Nick and gives give me that name tag. I deserve that shit.
I saw a tweet.
This is the Gardners.
I said it on
I think he
another
refers
podcast.
himself to third person.
Yeah, probably.
How high do you think DJ Chark's going to get drafted next year? I think we all kind of agreed DJ Chark then on that one.
Yeah.
I think the touchdown upside is always there. He went on that crazy streak to begin the year where he got a touchdown every single game, even in games where we were like, oh, it's a bad matchup, and he still went out there. And, he kind of turned into like a matchup-proof type of player.
Right.
With Minshew was in there at least.
I'd say
but I mean, how high do you think he gets drafted next year?
4th, 5th.
Yeah.
I think you're still gonna have guys that I'm trying to think of I'd say if comparable to this year, he's gonna be going in like the Robert Woods, Kenny Golladay. Who else was in that range? I'm trying to think. Let me look at that board.
Like I'm just a name that's top to my head.
I think he's going to be in that type of range this year, like that 4 or 5 range.
Yeah, like just a name because Keenan Allen was going in like the 3rd round. Would you take next year? Would you take DJ Chark over a Keenan Allen in like a full point
it's
PPR?
It's way too early for me to say. I think the Chargers are going to probably maybe lose Rivers. I think that they fired the coordinator.
Nick Foles to the Chargers?
Oh, Big Dick Nick slinging bolts by the beard of Zeus.
That'd be crazy.
It's too early for me to say that. But if all things stayed the same, there's room for growth with Chark and Minshew.
Yeah.
So I like that upside. There is, the track record though with Keenan Allen where you've seen it year after year. We have seen rookies come out and have a good year and then kind of, have a down sophomore year and this and that. So if I'm going upside and they're both like in the 4th round, depending on my first 3 picks, it's just gonna dictate. But being equal, I'd probably say PPR, maybe I'd go Keenan, half or standard, I'd probably go Chark.
Yeah, that's tough. He's for sure going to be drafted in the top couple rounds next year. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think he could even be a value, I think, because you just think Jaguars and you're like, oh, they suck and this and that. And you won't look at his totals and think of what he did last year and the growth he could potentially have, that he'll end up potentially being a value next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Take him to Value Town.
All right. Yeah, we all agree, though. DJ Chark. I know we need a gavel.
We need a gavel.
I'll read up this next one. This one's from Pat is Rick. Pick one of these: Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, or Kenny Golladay.
What's the format?
Standard.
Read them one more time.
Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, or Kenny Golladay.
Top of my head, I'm thinking Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I'm going to go Keenan too.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I do think you can play Golladay this week. We kind of saw even with Blow or whatever his name is. You can see you saw how all it takes is one play to get a thing. And we saw the Vikings pass defense. It's not the same pass defense as it once. So, they used to say the roads are closed, but I think the roads have been wide open over there in Minnesota. And I don't think they run the ball as much over there. So I think you can throw on them. So I think you can still probably dial up Marvin Jones and Golladay. Deebo Samuel, that one kind of worries me. I wonder if he sees Marcus Lattimore because he lines up at the outside mainly, right? And then Manny Sanders, I think, lines up in the slot.
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not 100% on his alignment on the field.
And then if he lines up in the slot, he should see our boy P.J. Williams, Manny Sanders. So could be a bigger Manny Sanders game.
P.J. Williams actually hasn't been playing as much.
I don't even know if he's been playing at all.
Yeah, he hasn't been starting actually.
But yeah, I think I'd go Keenan Allen on that one right there, especially PPR.
Yeah, it's I'd like Tyler said, I'd go Keenan.
No, it's not PPR. It's standard.
Oh, standard?
Yeah.
Throwing a wrench in it, huh?
It is standard. I mean, it's hard because standard is somewhat out of our element. You know what I mean?
I think I go Galladay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just yardage and touchdowns. Standard. I fucking hate standard. They're so boring.
Me too.
It's like the most boring thing
so
ever.
boring.
Oh, the score is 65-72. That was fun.
Bro, my team went off this week. I got 80.
84. Lead the league in scoring. Yeah, just given what Minnesota, like Tyler said, the roads have been open. It is in Minnesota. I think they're going to struggle to run the ball. I just think the touchdown upside is probably high. Keenan's not a huge touchdown guy. You know, he's usually anywhere from 4 to 6, where Galladay, I think, already has like 8 touchdowns in the year or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen, he makes his bread in the PPR game right there. Because even if he doesn't find the end zone, like you said, he can get you a 6 for 70, and that's, not a bad game.
Yeah, but if you get standard, it's
it's like it doesn't matter. You could be 12 for 65, and it's still 65. It's 6.5. So it's I think I'd go Galladay and standard. It's really close though.
No Deebo Samuel from either of you.
No, it's just you're kind of risking. You're kind of risking too much with two. I don't want to say elite options, but higher end options. You can see both these guys are in the top 18, relatively speaking. So it's like those guys are both safe, and you're just kind of risking it with Deebo. It's too much of a risk for me in week 14.
They also have T.Y. Hilton, but it's not looking like he's playing.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Deebo Samuel is like I said, he could see more Lattimore than Manny Sanders, and we haven't really seen a Manny Sanders game lately. So I think he could be due for one. Plus, on a team where they're like a run heavy team, so maybe like the upside of passing isn't there. Maybe Jimmy G only throws the ball 30 times, where Blow or whatever his name is could throw the ball 50 times because they're minus. The Vikings are minus 13 at home. I mean, they should be up. Detroit should be in catch up mode the whole game. So yeah, he could throw the ball 40 plus times, and all it takes is a couple plays for Galladay to find the end zone. He's one of those big guys we've seen too, kind of like a Devontae Parker, where like you kind of throw him the ball and even when he's covered, he's not covered.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you want to pull up the next one?
Ruled.
Yeah.
Just smash the helmet down.
Smash the helmet.
Ruled.
Every time we do question and answer, we got to order a new helmet.
You see that rear windshield wiper where they had the helmet? Someone printed out like the Steelers helmet, and then they put it on like the windshield wiper, and it would go like this. And it had like a hand like holding it, and then on the end of the windshield, so like the windshield wiper would go around,
Yeah.
And then on the end of it had that picture of Mason Rudolph with the fucking chip in his head.
Yeah.
So the helmet would just come around and smash it.
That's so funny.
It was so funny, dude. And then it was the guys who recorded it was like, "Go Brownies!" So funny.
I gotta watch this later.
That's pretty funny. All right, next question. Actually, it's a quarterback question here. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Phillip Rivers, or Gardner Minshew?
Well, Phillip Rivers is out.
In the Jewel League that you're in, what 4-point or 6-point passing per touchdown?
It's
I
4.
guess it doesn't really matter because you're just a quarterback. But anyways, so you got Fitzmagic, Phillip Rivers. Fitzmagic's at New York playing the Jets. Rivers is in Jacksonville playing the Jags, and then Minshew's at home playing against the Chargers. What are you feeling? Who are you leaning towards?
Not Rivers.
Yeah, not Felipe Rios.
I'll X him out. It comes down to me for safety versus upside.
Yeah,
we've seen Minshew week after week. We talked about it where he was pretty much a safe floor. Let me try and pull up his points real fast and kind of see where he was. Let's see, Gardner Minshew pulling up his points. He was kind of a safe play, 24, 20, 24, 20, 28, 6.3 against New Orleans. He had that bad week, but then 25, 32, and then 10 against Houston. And then he came in for halftime last week and got 15. So not massive upside. Fitzpatrick has those games where he throws for 335 and 3 or 4. But there is a lower floor of Fitzpatrick. He can go out there and struggle against the Jets. If the Dolphins can't get shit going against the Jets run defense, which is a touch run defense, and they can just pin their ears back and kind of just go at him, he could potentially struggle in this game. So for me, it's safety on Minshew, upside Fitzpatrick. It's like the personal call. What do you want?
Yeah. I think I'm leaning Fitzpatrick in this one. Just some numbers on him. But over the last 5 weeks, he's the QB5. He's got 10 total touchdowns, 8 rushing. He's actually run 2 in, so he's kind of giving you something on the ground as well. One thing being a Dolphins fan, I know we suck at running the ball. We have no running back. We have no run game. And then the Jets are like top, defense in terms of against the run. I think that the Dolphins are going to be trailing. So I think a lot of Fitzmagic, like you get a lot of garbage time points here. He's going to have to be chasing. We've kind of seen Devontae Parker kind of emerge as like a set it and forget it, like unguardable type of player. I'm kind of thinking Fitz could be like a Jameis this week, though. Like maybe he gets you 303, but he throws a couple picks. But like you're not really mad at what he gets you because the production should still be there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his numbers real quick. Fitz magic. It is kind of spiking down. You got 29. This is this could be a little bit higher than I forget. I'm not looking at normal scoring. Ours are a little higher. He was like 29 and 36, 16, 14, 32, 17, 25, 13. So he's kind of got that ping pong effect.
Yeah.
Where it's like when he hits the big games, he has the big games.
Yeah.
When he hits the lower games, he's having a kind of a shitty week. Not a shitty week, but below average week. So, like I said, that's kind of my opinion on it too. I would probably lean Fitzpatrick, but if you're a play it safe type, then I'd go Minshew.
Yeah.
And he does offer some upside in this matchup too as well.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I agree.
Mike.
I agree.
Mike.
I'm right there.
Mike.
I got one last one. Do you have any other ones besides that?
Let's see. Nope, it just says your page is fire.
I know.
Thanks, McNay.
Okay, so somebody asked what to do with Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman or Raheem Mostert?
Oh, like who to start?
Yeah. Coleman's been doing pretty bad.
I know, I'm like he's the starter, but it's like, what's Breeda's status? Like, he's like a questionable tag, right? It's
Yeah,
I was going to say that
I think
because if he comes in, that makes it even more murky over there. All I know is we were doing some numbers on Coleman last week, and outside of that 4 touchdown game against the Panthers, who have been, arguably the worst team, or they are actually the worst team in terms of against the running backs. They've given up the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. But outside of that game, he hasn't really been performing. I don't think he's top 50 yards in a couple games in a row. He's kind of a touchdown-dependent guy. I mean, I think a running back has a good game for the 49ers because it is that offense, it is that system. We've seen running backs be successful with them, but who's it going to be? Is it going to be Tevin Coleman? Is it going to be Mostert, who's kind of, he's like Hansel right now. He's the hot hand. But then if Breida comes back, does he dive into that as well? So...
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I gave up on playing any of these Niners running backs. If for a while it seemed like you could play 2 of them at a time, but now it's sketchy. Even in PPR leagues, none of them look really good.
I think in the right matchup you could play him, but this is a really tough matchup on the road. The Saints' run defense has been pretty good, so.
Yeah. Did you go?
I was gonna say, I think if you play any of them, I would play Raheem Mostert if Matt Breida's out.
Did you go either of those guys, or I was thinking of some matchups real quick?
Benny?
Yeah, we do Benny.
I'd probably go Benny over those guys just because he's going to get the volume and the goal line work.
Benny Snelly. He's Italian. I would do the same.
I mean, for all you know, Mostert's in there and he's having a good game. He runs the ball to the 2-yard line. They throw in Jeff Wilson Jr. Yeah. And he gets like a 1-yard touchdown. So
or
it's
somehow they hand it off to a fullback or something.
Yeah, it's kind of be like, what options do you have? Because I'd probably be looking, to pivot to a different option.
What if you have? We were talking about earlier, Marlon Macker, one of those backs.
I'd probably go Marlon Mack. Just at least I know I'm going to get 20 touches probably.
You get something
18,
for sure.
18 touches probably.
Yeah, I think I'd do the same.
You know what I think? Their coach, dude. It's fucked up.
Like you get.
Slow down.
Yeah, I mean, really, just pull the trigger, dude. If you're in the playoffs and you're relying on one of these guys, it's just
tough. I mean, I know Benny Snell was out there in like 70% of leagues. I would go get him if you could. I mean, would you rather play one of those guys, or are you taking a chance on like a LaShawn McCoy?
I'd play one of those guys over McCoy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because at least those guys are attached to a top 3 rushing offense, and they're going to get touches. McCoy, I don't know if he's going to get 3 or 13. It's like if Darwin can come out and have 15 carries, or Spencer Ware could be re-signed and have 20. I don't fucking know what Andy Reid does.
Yeah.
He's almost like a Bill Belichick.
He's turned into it, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, hey, dude. He's like, who you playing running back? I don't know. They're having fantasy talks. Dude, who you starting? I'm playing against Sony, so make sure James White goes off. Like, I got you.
Really, though. Yeah. That's rough. What about, did you say one of these Colts guys over them?
Yeah, we said Mac. We play Mac over him.
Okay. What about Darius Geis?
The Goose? The Goose?
Darius Geis or Tevin Coleman?
That's just tough because like you don't like he's not getting enough volume. He's only seeing the ball 12 times a game. Darius Geis. It is a good matchup on paper, but I mean they could be trailing from behind, and in Green Bay, Packers are minus 13. I mean we could see a lot of Chris Thompson. I think this is pretty much like a 3-man running back by committee back there because Chris Thompson came back. So I might actually lean like Tevin Coleman or Mostert over that.
Yeah, same here. Right on the head.
Yeah, that's rough. Ruled. Yeah, ruled. Thank you. We did it.
All right, I got one more quarterback question.
All right.
Asking for a friend.
Are you asking for yourself? I got a quarterback question too. Then.
All right, quarterback question. So you got Baker Mayfield at home.
All right, let's just
this
say
is my matchup against Anthony, so I just want to hear your guys' input though.
You want Anthony's input?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'll give you an
Yeah. So you got Baker Mayfield at home against the Bengals, Jared Goff at home against the Seahawks, or Matt Ryan at home against the Panthers.
It's a tough one.
Wait, Baker Mayfield, Matt Ryan, or who?
You got Baker Mayfield at home against the Bengals. Then you got Jared Goff at home against the Seahawks, and then you got Matt Ryan at home against the Panthers. The Matt Ryan thing ultimately depends, obviously, if Julio Jones and Hooper come back.
I'd be trusting Baker over. It's either Baker or Matt Ryan, but I'm leaning Baker. That's what I'm thinking.
Matty?
Bengals is just
I feel like
so
they would
bad.
Personally, for me, I feel like they'd all be like right in that area. I mean,
They're all good options.
You do like Baker.
I don't like Jared Goff against Seattle. Division game. Seattle's.
It's at Seattle. So
I know they're defensive.
It's at
defensive backs.
LA. The Rams are at home.
Yeah, but it's still
same thing as Seattle.
I don't.
There might be some more Seahawks fans there.
Yeah, truly.
I know it sounds gross for the golf situation, but I mean, we've seen him like in matchups where like I touched on it last week. In the green rated matchups or the good matchup he's had, he's performed. And then having Brandon Cooks and having
I think
Robert Woods back as well. Last game they played in Seattle, I think he threw for 395 yards. He only threw one touchdown, but he put up 300 plus yards throwing. And we've seen the Seahawks pass defense isn't very good. So. Kirk Cousins had a good game against them. Their corners aren't very good. So that's kind of why I think golf has got some good upside there. And then it being at home. I actually think this is like a shootout kind of game.
Really?
That's just. I mean, I was wrong because I thought today would be a defensive game and the Bears game. And
Mitch Trubisky was like, "Watch this, bitch."
But that's kind of like my thoughts for golf, at least, like his upside. You
do get like you get like a double down on his upside because it's like we know he's bad on the road. He's good at home. What was the other? We're talking about home.
Baker.
No, it's somehow Goff. It's home. Oh, and then green rated matchups.
Yeah.
That was the other one. So it's like we know he's bad in red rated matchups. He's good in green. So you get two positives to look at with Jared Goff is you get the green rated matchup. We know he's good in those. You get the home matchup. We know he's good at those. So it's like you do have both those going for him. So I think you get a solid. I mean, either of these three, it's like I think you're just guessing on who throws more touchdowns.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the Matt Ryan thing, obviously, if Julio Jones and Austin Hooper come back, I think that's kind of why we've seen him struggle the last couple games. I mean, obviously, Hooper's kind of was like his safety blanket almost. I feel like that's why he's been the tight end one in the year so far. So I think having Hooper back would obviously help.
I probably look at what Matt Ryan did last time against Carolina too, because I think Julio does kind of struggle against Bradbury. I think it might be one of the corners he struggles against. And if he's not at 100 and Hooper's not back, then I'd probably shy away just with that offensive line being bad. And I know Carolina does have some good defensive ends, so they could give him a lot of trouble with the lack of running game there and just I'm
thinking Baker, dude. I don't trust. I don't like Jared Goff against Seattle. Jared Goff, he relies on, he has to be ahead in the game, I feel like, and I just can see the Seattle coming ahead at the beginning and just him chasing. He's not really good at chasing in a lot of games.
Yeah. It's a tough one right there.
I just like
juggling the decisions.
Just based off Jared Goff's performances this year, I'm not going to trust my Week 14 playoff with him. Yeah. I know you could probably say the same thing about Baker, but the Bengals.
About Baker, he's been,
yeah, but the Bengals have been terrible, dude.
But there's also the world where Nick Chubb goes for Hamburglar and just fucking runs for like 180 and 2 touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt gets another
yeah.
That's in the realm of possibility where he doesn't even need to throw because it's just Chubb's full erect 7 Viagra's just out there just running it down their throats.
Okay, so 2 passing touchdowns and 300 yards, 200 yards, 250 yards.
For who, Baker?
Yeah. 2 at the beginning, and then
I like Baker at home. I do like Baker at home. I mean,
there's a lot of upside in that game too.
Yeah, you got Landry, who's been playing at an elite level. He's Landry's been a savage, and then Odell. I think you could see a big Odell game at home. So obviously, if you could run the ball, the play action works, so that only benefits.
How did you get in this quarterback situation? What were your original quarterbacks? Was it all these guys?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, really?
Which started off hot like Hansel, but then he got put out
for sure.
And I've just kind of been streaming quarterbacks. Tannehill. I think I had Fitzpatrick.
That is pretty hard though. All those are pretty close.
I probably have them all like ranked in like a same tier.
They're all like right there, right? Like, so I just I know it's like a personal question, but it's also
it's relevant.
Honestly, at this point, it's like I honestly just like go with my gut, and I'm like, fuck it. If I'm gonna lose, I want to lose at least with like the gut feeling, not like. I listened to this guy and I knew I should have played this. Yeah, just put him in your lineup. You win, awesome. If you don't, fuck it, you lose. Like shit, life goes on. Next,
so unless you're Art, and then you go on suicide watch. Our boy Art, he went missing for like 2-3 weeks. He lost and I beat him in the second round. I actually ended up winning that year, but.
Really?
Dude, his team was just like stacked. He had like 200 more points more than anyone. He had won like 12 weeks in a row, and I was like, dude, you should lose one because like fantasy, anything could happen. I'd rather lose one before you
get out of the regular season, bro.
Yeah. That's what you said to me, but I went undefeated.
That's what the Patriots do. They lose in the regular season just to hype themselves up for the playoffs.
Yeah. But yeah, he went on like he went missing for like 2 weeks. Like nobody would get a hold of him.
In a bar.
Bro, have you ever seen?
I had the best team in the league.
Have you ever seen?
I fucking lost.
What was that movie Fever Pitch where he's like a Red Sox fan and he's just playing the same tape over and over and then like losing the World Series, and then he's just been sitting in his recliner for like 2 weeks,
just looking at his points,
just hammered in the dark. They're like, "Whoa, where did you get this? Where did you get this? Does he have more copies?" That's just him just looking at his fucking score up and over again.
Yeah.
Sorry. Asking for a friend.
Okay, let's hear your quarterback.
Quick. Let's say you bench Dak Prescott. And you got to decide between Fitzpatrick and Sam Darnold.
Oh, shit.
Who would you go with?
Oh, shit.
I actually like Sam Darnold a lot this week. I think this is an Adam. I know it sounds gross, but
All right, so that's so funny.
I think he's a matchup-based quarterback is what it is. He had a couple good games in a row. I think he put up 20-plus points. I know in our league, it's probably like, kind of like a good quarterback league. So it's like 25-plus points, I think, probably in all those games. But I think, I wasn't sold on him last week on the road in Cincinnati. I kind of called that he would have a bad game. Did have a bad game. But I think, at home, this is an Adam Gase revenge game. I think they're really going to want to get this W for him, playing against the former team. I know Miami got their revenge, in a sense, at home. So I now think, traveling up to New York, I think the Jets, get right. I mean, our pass defense has been terrible. We literally have lost every single person in our secondary. We're playing with a bunch of no-names, undrafted people. Like, people get cut, and we pick up people off the practice squad and waiver wire pickups. Like, in the NFL, there's no one there. And, we've just been giving up touchdowns. I think we've given up the most touchdowns through the air out of anyone in the entire NFL.
I'm gonna say you should go Homer pick, dude. I think you need to go with Ryan Fitzmagic. Week 14 against your boy. You got the fucking Dolphins quarterback. Line him up. Let's get some touchdowns. He's gonna come out. Bro, he's got.
Fuck you, Parker.
Dude, he's already got Chris. Listen, he's already got Chris Godwin's fucking clothing. He's gonna. Bro, this is it. He's got his chain. He's ready, dude. He's ready to show up to that press conference. 4 touchdowns. I'm calling it right now.
Mike's streaming.
Miami win.
All right, enough said. We'll do a rules.
Hey, I mean, while we're here,
let's see if we got any more questions.
Let's see.
Any late DMs coming in?
No, we got a couple, but they're like, why does Anthony stink so badly.
And
Why is water wet?
that's what happens when you get hepatitis C.
All right.
You just smell.
So I'm in a
Shakes
double
and roars.
flex league. I got 3 tight ends. Is it crazy to play 3 tight ends this week?
I would think yes.
I got
unless
Vance
if you have Kelsey.
I have Vance.
Yeah, unless you have like Kelsey Ertz and I don't even know.
Listen,
You could have Kelsey, Andrews, and Waller.
well, listen, motherfuckers. I'm about to tell you what I got.
Why don't you shut your lips and learn?
Yeah,
Tell
you
us, Mike.
boys need to shut your lips and listen. Your boys gonna fucking educate.
All right.
All right. I got Vance.
What if you have Kelsey, Gronkowski?
so mad.
All right, and that's all we got today. Motherfuckers. Listen, I got Vance McDonald, Tyler Higbee, and Dallas Goedert. It's a double flex league. And I also have Benny Snell. So right now I have Vance McDonald, Higbee, and Benny Snell. Is it crazy to play Dallas Goedert, Higbee, and Vance McDonald?
I mean, who are your other options that you?
I'd probably run Snell.
Nobody.
can't
I
play
got
anybody.
LaShawn McCoy, Marlon Mack. Like it's a 3 wide receiver league. I have
Who are
AJ
your-
Brown,
who
Cole
are your
Beasley
wide
already
receivers?
in. AJ Brown, Cole Beasley, and Chris
There's a
Godwin.
lot of players to think about.
Yeah.
I might have to look at this off air.
I mean, Vance McDonald, I think you're for sure playing. I mean, I'm just gonna go with the trend of how bad the Cardinals have been against the tight end.
Yeah,
They're giving up 18.1 PPR points per game against the tight end position. That'd be the most if you just stream
Yeah,
the tight end
I-
every week against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm for
you'd
sure
have the
playing
number one tight
Vance.
end.
I already have
you'd have
him.
like the wide receiver 7.
Really? Is that high?
Well, it was wide receiver 8, and then Higbee just had 100.
I mean, yeah, it's like and I was like listening to something else and just saying like, okay, like I know Vance hasn't done it all year, but I mean, we've seen people like the backup tight end for the Niners. We've seen, I don't know, just whoever last week.
Yeah,
Higbee,
Ross Dwelley.
Ross Dwelley. Higbee, who's just came out of nowhere. We've seen OJ Howard, who's been terrible, had a good game. I mean, just monster games from any tight end possible. It's just there, and I like to think that Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing. He's actually doing really good with the cards he's been dealt over there in Pittsburgh. Should be coach of the year with how good they've been playing and winning with what they've had.
Yeah.
But I think they're smart enough to realize, hey, they can't fucking guard the tight end. We're gonna use Vance
Yeah,
McDonald.
they're going to exploit that for sure. Vance McDonald's my 100%. I just I don't know how much I trust Tyler Higbee. Seattle's been pretty bad against tight ends, defending tight end position, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be exploited that well. I almost want to play Dallas Goedert over him, but it's just I'm like, damn, am I really going to play 3 tight ends?
Hey, you gotta do.
I think I got to play Benny Snell, but because I got Zeke and Fournette as my other
Hey,
2
go with the
running
homer
backs.
pick.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I got to go Vance McDonald, but I just don't know about these other 2, which one to play, or if I should, There's no wide receivers on the what's it called, waiver, or to add on. So
who's on the waiver?
literally, I mean, Philip Dorsett's there, which I was thinking about picking him up, just because, but I just don't know who to drop for him.
But who else is?
Philip Dorsett, Alan Hearns, Deontay Johnson, Humphreys, Erickson from Cincinnati, Corey Davis is there, Zay Jones, Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Byrne, Albert Wilson.
What about Auden Tate? No Auden Tate.
No. I mean, it's a 3 wide receiver double flex league, and it's full point PPR, so,
Yeah.
but.
As Estancia would say, gross.
Yes.
Stancio can't speak. She's inside of something.
All right, I think we can end it there. I thought that was a kind of a funny situation I'm in, playing 3 tight ends,
Tight ends.
which is pretty crazy. But thank you for listening. We try to answer your questions. It's kind of fun doing a little Q&A. We don't really do that often, but
We'll do another one next week.
yeah. I like it. Thanks for listening. This has been the Average Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 55. Subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram at @AverageBros_fantasyfootball. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We're fucking out, dude.